So hi guys, so today I'm going to do the program to hook the packet using the net filter and decrement the TTL value. So for that we need to do a kernel programming which should hook the packet and it should reduce the TTL value. Okay, so for that for writing the kernel program we should include the Linux modules. So Linux headers. So first Linux module.h. So this is used to call the init function and the exit function. Once the module is inserted, init function will be called, and once the module is removed, the exit function will be called. Okay, then include init.h. So this library provides the underscore init, so which is used when a particular insmod, if we insert a kernel file using insmod keyword, so the init function will be called. So we no need that piece of code after inserting that kernel object. So we can throw the piece of code, we can remove the piece of code. So for that the init.h library contains underscore init, and then so here I am using kernel.h to use the print key and so on. So now first we will do the basic function. So first static int, so we should return some value to the user, to the one who is calling. If we return 1, so it will assume that the module is inserted correctly. If it returns 0, then it will automatically call the exit function and it will remove the module, kernel module. Okay, so we can just print something, print. So and then so we should return some. So if it returns 0, it is successfully inserted. If not, it will automatically call the exit function. So this module underscore init will call the ki, so which is the function which we call while inserting the module, and the module exit will call the function ke, so which will be called while exiting. When we use a remove if we remove the kernel module, then module underscore exit will call the ke function and it will be remove the kernel module. So and then now our task is to hook the packet from the net filter and then decrement the TTL value. So for that we need to register to the kernel that if a packet comes in the IPv4, so give to me like that. So for that we need the net filter.h and the net filter IPv4 headers. So socket buffer is the data structure where it contains the complete packet data. So first we should declare a struct so this is a struct we need for the network filter hook. So here we will pass the parameters like the functions which will called back when a packet when a packet arrives, and then the priority, and then the protocol family like IPv4, IPv6. We will define those things in this structure. So let us structure here. So here fill.hook is the hook callback function which will be called once the packet arrives, and then fill.pf is the protocol family. We are mentioning that we are using IPv4, we need the IPv4 packet alone. So hook num is the so whether we need to hook the packet in the pre-routing or post-routing or while forwarding, so we will mention those in the hook num. And this priority is used that if it's n of IP priority first tells that, so it is a high priority. So if multiple hooks multiple kernel programs host the packet, so there should be some priority, right? So for that we are using this priority. So and then NF register net hook, so this registers the net hook to the net hook to the kernel. So here we are passing two arguments, one is init underscore net, so which is the default parameter, and then fill. So this fill is the structure we have used here. And then here while inserting the module we are registering the hook, and while removing the module we should unregister the hook. For that we are using nf underscore unregister net underscore hook init net and fill. Okay, that's it. Now we need to define the hook function, hook callback function. So here the hook callback function will have some parameters. So void star proof is the so parameters which are arguments which are passed by the user. So while calling the hook function, here itself we pass some parameters that will be in the void star proof. Okay, and then struct skb is the socket buffer, so which will contain the packet data. So and then const struct nf hook state, so this is the state of the hook. Okay, now now we need to remove the IP header, so we will define struct IP header, so which is the struct to store the IP header. And then so in the socket buffer we need to take only the IP header alone. Now we need only IP header, so the function is IP underscore hdr, and then we will pass the socket buffer as an argument. Okay, now in this socket buffer we have removed the IP header and stored it in the IP. Now in that IP we should decrement the TTL value. So just I am putting IP TTL equal to -3. So in the IP TTL I am just modifying the TTL value by decrementing by 3. Now so once this is done, I am telling that I am accepting nf accept. So this will tell the net filter to accept this packet. So here if we no need to accept the packet, we can drop the packet. So it's just nf underscore drop. So now we can run the kernel program and you can see. So I have already written some make file, so I'm just using the make command to run the kernel, make the kernel.c to kernel.ko. Let's throw some. I'll just end the program. The error was that we should include the module license. So I have done in the small case letter, but it should be in the uppercase letter. That was the error. Yeah, so that's it. The hook function is now we have done the kernel programming to hook the packet and just decrement the IP TTL IP in IP header. We have the TTL field, so we are just decrementing that field, and then we are just accepting the packet. That's it. Thank you.